Hi everyone, it's Erin from the Provincial Farmhouse. Today I'm going to be using the XTool M1 Ultra. Now this machine has only been out for a couple of months and it combines the capabilities of a Cricut with a laser and an inkjet printer. In today's video, I'm going to take you through the quick and easy setup of the M1 Ultra, and I'm also going to be doing a couple of projects using the laser and also the fine point blade. Now this machine has so many capabilities that it is tricky to fit all of that in one video. So I'm going to be doing a series of videos where I focus on the different capabilities of this machine. So let's get started. The M1 Ultra came packed really well. There was no risk of damage in transit at all. You have this other box inside that initial one. I'm then going to open up the lid, and this is where all of your different bits and pieces have been kept. We have the exhaust fan module, we have the 10-watt laser, we also have the inkjet printer module as well, and then we have the power cords, of course, to connect those up. Also, there is a USB cable which is going to be needed if you're going to be working with your computer. We have the drawing pens as well, a variety of colors there to choose from. And then up the back we have our little XTool toolkit. Now this has all of the blades inside and also the key that you're going to need to actually work the machine. I took out some more of the packaging, and on the inside we have two mats here, self-adhesive mats. We've got the light grip and the firm grip, just depends what material you're going to be working with. And then it was time to undo a lot of these little screws. So these are just holding it in place in transit. Definitely keep these if you are somebody who needs to do a lot of moving. It would be very handy to be able to have everything secure so that it doesn't sort of jostle about in transit. And then I just pulled that forward and pulled the last bit of packaging away. Now I'm going to install the exhaust fan. Unlike other lasers, this is a kit that comes with a filter, so I'm going to be opening that up and installing that in there. But this is an all-in-one piece, so it already has the hose attached, and it's just a clip-on system, which is a lot easier than struggling with some of the other attachments that you get with other lasers. And this is what you're going to be using when you work with the laser. So it's going to make sure that all that smoke goes out your window. So I'm just going to sort of pull on that hose, get it into the shape that I want, and I'm just going to be clipping it onto the back. Then I'll direct the hose out the window when I'm using the laser. Next, I need to use the little key that comes with the XTool. This is so that it will function. And then I am going to plug in the power cable in the back there, and you can see there is an on-off switch there as well. Now, the M1 Ultra comes with a material pack so that you're able to get crafting straight away. You don't have to go out and buy material. They have provided you with some of the items there that you can use the M1 Ultra to cut. So it has a little package list there. I'm going to be using the basswood out of that one and some of the cardboard pieces, but it also comes with some vinyl, some transfer tape, quite a few bits and pieces that you can use to start experimenting with. Now, the M1 Ultra comes with a carriage here. This is what you're going to use with all of the other attachments. Like the cutting blade here, this is perfect for cutting thicker materials like leather. Then we have the foil transfer tip. You'll use that to do some gold foiling. You can also do embossing with this one. Then we have the rotary blade, which is perfect for cutting out thinner fabric like cotton. Finally, we have the fine point blade. This goes in the housing unit that's already installed on there, and it's perfect for cutting things like vinyl and cardstock. The M1 Ultra also comes with the ink module so that you can print on porous surfaces. I will be doing a dedicated video on this very soon. But now I'm going to be installing the 10-watt laser module. It's very easy to just slide it down and click that there. And then I'm going to set up the triangular prism option there for when you're working with wood and doing your laser cutting. It was very easy. I just sort of snapped those triangular prism pieces together and started arranging them so that I knew that the wood that I was going to use would be able to rest on there and be nice and level. I'm then going to put the tray into the M1 Ultra, and then once I have that ready, I am going to lay my basswood underneath. This is just a piece of wood that I was doing some experimenting on. I'm going to be using the M1 Ultra with my MacBook, so I'm going to connect it with the provided USB. I did have to use an adapter. I'm then going to be using XTool's Creative Space. Now, I downloaded this online and got the right one for my MacBook. And now I'm just going to hit New Project so that I can connect the M1 Ultra. I'm then going to go in and select my machine and get that all connected. It did have to do a firmware update. That's pretty normal. And then once that was downloaded, I found this little trick or treat design online. It was just a free printable, and I'm going to be having this as my design today. I'm going to make a little Halloween tag that might be perfect for, say, a tiered tray. But I'm going to create a rectangular shape to go around it because I'm going to have the trick or treat section be engraved, but I want to be able to have the tag cut out, and a rectangle is just a nice neat shape. Then I'm going to add a circle. I'm going to make that a bit smaller so that I have something to thread my twine through, and I'm going to position that up the top. Up the top, I'm going to make sure that lasering on a flat surface has been selected to make sure we're using the right attachment. And then I'm going to click on the outside rectangle, make sure that cut is selected, and also the circle. I'm just doing that over on the right-hand side. I then sent that rectangle to the back so that I could select the trick or treat design. I'm going to click on that, and then we're going to make sure that engraved is there. I'm then going to select my material, the 3mm basswood, and it already has the settings programmed in. And then once I'm happy with that, I am going to click start, and it will give me an estimated time that the project is going to take. I then hit the start button on the machine. Now it started off doing the engraving of the trick or treat design there. So we are just watching some of that progress. It did actually go quite quick and the detail was quite amazing. I was definitely impressed with that. And then once it was finished with working on that, it automatically went in and started doing the cutting. So I didn't need to hit any other buttons. I didn't need to do it as a separate project. It's really an all-in-one process, and it just would prompt you if you needed to change any of the tools. So it's cutting straight through. It already had the built-in settings for the basswood, which was really, really helpful, which made this project a lot easier. So it's cutting through that really easily, and I was definitely impressed with how clean the cuts were without any scorch marks. Once that design was all cut out and ready, I took out these beads. I'm going to be attaching them to our tag. I'm going to have them stacked there, and I'm going to need to paint them with some Halloween colors. I think that would be very fun. So I'm just working out the arrangement there, and I'm going to start off with some yellow mineral paint to start off with. I'm going to paint 2 coats on this bead here. For the other one, I'm going to be using an orange paint and painting the smaller bead that's going to go in the center. And then once the 2 coats on that one was dry, I used a sort of creamy chalk paint on the last one. So I'm going for those sort of candy corn colors. When the beads were dry, I took out some twine. I'm going to thread that through the hole in our laser cut tag. I'm going to tie 2 knots to hold that in place. And then once I'm happy with that and the length is the way that I want, I am going to cut off that section and start threading it through the beads. And we're going to go in the order of yellow, orange, and that creamy tone. And once I have them all there, I'm going to tie 2 knots to hold them in place. Next, I'm going to make a tassel. I'm going to wind some twine around my fingers several times until I'm happy with that. Pull it off. I'm going to then pull the twine that we already have with the beads. I'm going to pull that through one end and then tie a double knot to hold that in place. And then I'm going to cut the other end with the twine. And then I'm going to pull those pieces together and use another bit of twine to loop around the top section. This is going to hold everything in place, give us that nice tassel shape. And then I'm going to tie a double knot there as well. Once that was all secure, I trimmed off the excess, and then we're going to trim our tassel down as well. It's just a little bit long. And here's our finished Halloween tag. Thanks to the M1 Ultra, this was a very quick and easy project, but I think it would look really cute on a tiered tray decorated for Halloween. Let me know what you think of this in the comments. We're going to do one more project with the laser. I have this little corner Halloween design that I found online. I'm going to select basswood. We're going to use that same piece of basswood, and I am going to have that be cut as well, just like before. We're not going to do any engraving, and here I'm just using the preset settings here and using the recommended setting. And then I'm going to do auto measure here. I didn't show that in the last one. It's just something that the M1 Ultra can do. It's going to automatically work out how much of a distance that laser has between the laser and the material. I'm then going to hit process. It's going to give me some information about how long it's going to take, obviously. And once I'm happy with that, I will hit the start button. And then obviously I also have to hit start on the machine. Then it's going to get to work cutting out that design. Now, as I said, this is just a scrap piece of wood. I was doing some experimenting and when I was doing the calibrating, so just ignore that. But I'm going to be painting this anyway, so I don't mind that I have those other things going on at the moment on that wood. I'm going to be painting them completely black, so I don't want to waste it. So I'm going to just continue to monitor this. You definitely do not want to leave any laser machine unattended. But as I was watching this, I was just blown away by how it was able to cut those intricate web details. It definitely did an amazing job, and that's where that 10-watt laser can come in and do that delicate work. And here you can see I wasn't sure how it would go with those tiny spider legs, but it did an amazing job. When it was finished, I just carefully pulled it away from the background and I just used a weeding tool to get out that excess wood there. I'm then going to take it outside and use some black spray paint. I'm going to paint one of the sides completely, let it dry for about 20 minutes. Then I did flip it over and I painted the other side, so it could be used either way. This was so easy and turned out so cute. I love it on a book stack, but I could imagine it on the corner of a bookshelf. A really simple but really sweet decoration for Halloween for your home. Let me know what you think of this in the comments. Next, I'm going to create an iron-on design for a tote bag. This is just a free SVG image. I'm going to reflect it horizontally because we're working with an iron-on. And now I'm going to add the fine point blade to the system that's already installed there. And I'm just going to add that little blade in there and then pull the little mechanism across so that it is locked in place. And I'll replace the cover. Before I go any further, I'm going to add the light grip mat there. I'm going to peel off one side. It has an adhesive backing that will attach to the base in the M1 Ultra. I'm going to lay that down and make sure that that's all in line. And then I will peel the other plastic part of that off as well so that I can come in there and add some iron-on vinyl. Now, you always want to make sure you read the instructions for whatever vinyl product you are working with. Make sure you have the correct side up facing where the blade is going to cut. Now we are ready to go. So I'm going to go back into my software there. I'm going to click process. It's going to give me a estimated time there. It's going to remind me about adding that fine point blade into the basic carriage. And then I'm going to hit start. I'm then going to hit start on the machine, obviously, and it's going to get to work. And this did not take very long at all. This wasn't a super complicated design, but it definitely made it a lot easier in terms of if I had to reposition my material, I would know that it would line straight back up because it's flat. I'm then going to pull out the finished product there and I'm going to get to work weeding out that excess material that I don't need. You definitely want to go slow here to make sure that you don't accidentally weed out something that you need. This is a little ghost, so we're going to move that center part out and then we'll be good to move on to the next step. In addition to sending me the M1 Ultra, XTool also kindly sent me their mini press, their smart press, and the smart press platform. This equipment is perfect if you are going to be doing any work with iron-on vinyl or personalizing tote bags and t-shirts. So let's get to work on our project. So it has a wireless little control panel there that we're going to use. The knob on the left controls temperature. The one on the right obviously does the timer. And I've looked up the settings for mine, so I'm going to program those in. I'm going to then lift up the heat press there using that handle. I've already got the mat underneath my tote bag that we're going to be using, and I'm just going to give that a little press for about 5 to 10 seconds before we get started. That is a recommended preferred setting for the vinyl that I'm using. Then we're going to lay down our little design that we cut with the M1 Ultra. I've got it upside down, obviously there because of where the handles are. I'm then going to position the press where it is, and then when I'm ready, I'm going to hit the start button. I've got everything already programmed in, and then I'm going to use the handle to press that down. The wireless control panel is going to keep track of the time for me, so I don't have to worry about that. Once it's ready to go, I will lift up the heat press, and then I'm going to let my design dry, or rather cool down completely before I move on to the next step. I'm then going to start pulling away the plastic from my cooled down design, just going a little bit slow so that I don't accidentally pull anything up. But honestly, it's really on there quite well. And here's a look at our Halloween tote bag. I think this would be perfect for your kids if they're going to go trick-or-treating, or maybe as a gift at a Halloween party. Let me know what you think of this in the comments. Finally today, I want to have a play with the fine point pen drawing function in the creative space there with XTool. So I'm just going to do some basic text. I'm going to just type in my business name, the Provincial Farmhouse, and then once I have that text in there, I'm going to arrange it how I want, and then I'm going to select the text that I want. As you can see, there is a variety of options, and as you hover over it, it's going to give you a little preview of what that looks like, and I decided to just go with some nice cursive writing there. I'm going to select that one, and then I'm going to go over, and I want it to be color filling. And then I'm going to go in and select the pen that we're going to use. We're going to be using the purple pen. Purple is one of my favorite colors, so I thought we would start with that. I resized the design, we don't need it that big, and then I pressed processing, and it's going to prompt me to change over our little tool there. So I've got the purple pen with the pen attachment. I'm going to slide that in until it is clicked and secure in place. And then I'm going to add it to the basic cartridge. Again, this sort of comes standard, so we didn't have to add this. Then I'm going to click it in place. I already have some cardstock there, as you can see on my light grip mat, and it went to work really quick. And I just love how this looks. I think it came out beautiful. This is going to be perfect if you are somebody who is a card maker. Then I wanted to test it out on an image. So I'm going to go into the plants image. This is already in the creative space software there. And I've just selected this rose. But I don't want it to be color filling this time. I thought that I would try out the line drawing option. We are going to be using the purple pen again, so I'll be sure to select that. And then I'm going to resize our rose so that it's a little bit bigger and we can see those details a bit better. I'm then going to click go to process. Again, it will prompt me just to remind me in case I don't have that pen in place, and then the machine got to work. And again, the detail that this was able to achieve was amazing. So this is definitely going to be great for making things look handmade. Gift tags would be perfect for this. In future videos, I'm also going to be using the foiling tip blade as well. So if you are someone who likes to make your own thank you cards or Christmas cards, definitely stay tuned for that video, because as you can see, this machine can do so many amazing looks. XTool also sent me the M1 Ultra riser base with the honeycomb tray so that I can work with thicker materials. I can engrave and cut using the laser up to 125 millimeter thickness. It also has a little compartment at the front there to store some of your tools away, and they also sent me the rotary attachment so that I can engrave around surfaces like tumblers. So I'll be definitely using those in a future video. I want to say a special thank you to XTool for sending me the M1 Ultra and of course the Smart Press and Mini Press. There really is so many possibilities with this amazing new machine. Make sure you keep an eye out for my upcoming videos where I'm going to be exploring the capabilities of the inkjet printer module, also the cartridges and the different cutting tools, especially the rotary blade. I've got lots of ideas on how I'm going to be using those, but they really do need their own videos to do them justice. So make sure you keep your eye out for that. If you would like to get your own M1 Ultra or one of the Smart Press machines, make sure you check out the links in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys.